one day. And as the universe provides when we allow, in a silent state, I was thinking about what words vibrate with me. I said, wow, first of all, I need to break away from what I was just doing. It's a break, a clean break. I've got to separate that business. And then how do I do that? It's not easy. It's difficult. We must stop and take a deep breath to catch ourselves, to bring us back to our center, disconnect, or break away from whether it's the family going to business. We must take that deep breath. Then think, what will we do to fully engage and bond into the next meeting or family outing or what have you that we're going to engage? We must separate. I've created the transition tool, which allows you to break, breathe, and bond right here. Made of fine sterling silver jewelry, yes, both large and small size, more of a woman's size and a men's size. They're available for children if you want to manage your child a little bit better or a teenager. You put the words on there that matter, because words matter. We sculpt our thoughts. These are my 3 B's. Break, breathe, and bond. Keep your energy high. Transition. Make your day a piece of artwork. Sculpt your words, sculpt your time, sculpt your life. Hello, everyone. This is Peter Stone. I have a question, and that question is, how was your past week? How were the last 7 days of your life? On the weekends, we usually, or we should, just take a break, a breathe, a bond. Take a breathe and a break and an assessment. Not just, oh, my week was this. It was fine. Really? Fine is a 4-letter word. And it's not really a good one. It's fine unless you're using it as an adjective. Fine as a description of my week. Did I have a fine week? In that respect, was it fine? Or was it fine? And we know what we mean by fine. It's kind of like a ho-hum answer for most people. That's fine. Could it be better? Could your last 7 days of your life have been better in some way? And I would say, I look at my week, I know the next week can always be better. And what does better mean? It means different things to everyone, to all of us, to different people, different things, different strokes for different folks. And what was your week like? Did it empower you? Empowering means, did it excite you? Did it fuel you? Did it give you energy and lift you up and make you want to go into your next day happily, energetically, looking forward to it? Is that my tea, my afternoon tea? And is this happening with you? Are you getting really powered up by your own actions, not somebody else's actions, your own? What you're doing, is it serving you, or is it serving what someone said you should do? Therefore, the week really was ho-hum. Even though you accomplished a lot of things, but
were they rewarding for you? And that doesn't mean, I don't mean the rewards need to be in the last week, because if you're doing something for a grander award or reward or benefit for yourself in a longer term, then quite frankly, getting through some of this stuff may not in the moment, in the quick assessment, serve us in our answer and say, no, didn't do anything. But if that is part of a step, the week is part of a step to a ladder that's going up, then recognize it. Because if you are doing a project or working online or a new business or working on weight or whatever you're working on in your life, I mean, we're always a work in progress. That's life. And if we're not a work in progress, then we're deprogressing backwards. If we're not improving our game, improving our life, improving our health, our well-being, especially our health right now, right? Shouldn't our focus, and that word is, I think it's a must. Never mind, it should. Only if you want to live and be healthy for a long time, then it becomes a must if you want to live and become healthy and build a strong immune system to protect yourself. And sadly, for many people, I see a lot of people out walking, getting fresh air, even riding their bike, that I don't ordinarily see. And maybe they're working at home and not in their office, but I can bet if I stop them and I ask them, well, why are you all of a sudden out exercising? Why are you in the sun when you haven't been in the sun for the last 10 years? What brings you out? And why are you leveling up? Apparently, because if you're out walking around and you're putting effort into it, you are looking for something a little better. And maybe you have too much time, but I'm going to just guess that fear drives people. And so some people take care of their health all their life. And so their life is extended. And I was sitting in my little hometown at the old pier, the wharf. There's a little bench around this wharf. And in the morning, the lobstermen sit and greet each other. It's their daily ritual before they go out in their boat. And they're drinking their Dunkin's coffee. It used to be Peggy's Sub Shop coffee, which is long closed to an upscale location. And I introduced my daughter to Sub Shop coffee. I said, Brianna, you got it. And when we were in the hot, they had coffee that tasted exactly the same, maybe from the same company. I said, you got to try this. I said, I don't drink this very often, but you got to taste the difference. This is just a Sub Shop coffee, and that's that. And I think Dunkin' has a brand for that, which is not necessarily I don't have just one place to drink coffee. So, it's not like that. It's like live and enjoy. So they're drinking their coffee, hanging out. And then after work, after they finish their day and they sit around, talk sea stories and the old days. And in this case, these guys, they are in their 60s and 70s. And I'm like, this one guy, he just turned 70. And I see him every morning because I look out my window over the harbor. And he has a challenge getting in his boat. But once he's standing, he's good. And he's got a bad knee. And he goes, man, if I knew I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of myself. Which is sadly the case for most people. Oh, I'm getting older. I better start taking care of myself. Really? Why? Why? Because you're getting older. What about when you were younger? Well, in my case, I partied for 12 years, pretty solid, and had a lot of fun, but the last two wasn't that much fun. And I probably did some damage. I definitely did. But I'm alive, and my mission is to, you can rebuild no matter what you've done at any age, youth or older, okay, with some history behind you. So when you come full circle to analyzing the week that just passed, what do you recognize? I wish I had done this, or I should have done things that way. This would have been better if I smiled, or I did whatever I did. Could have been nicer. I couldn't have been any nicer last week. And whatever it is, I didn't really need to eat those 2 donuts. Or I could have replaced it with celery or a little salt on it if you need to have, whatever it is. Whatever a habit or a thing that, or just life in general, did you live fulfilling days? Were they rich? Were your expectations high? Did you expect to have good days and have good days? Or did you just go from day to day with no expectation other than another day, ho hum, life is over? And, I guess if it's ho hum, I would imagine that why bother if it's just ho hum, if there's no real value to you, to your family, to anybody around, other than just, trying to do the basics. When there's a possibility to do something a little bit different. It doesn't have to be big. I'm not talking about this big, giant stuff, but it ends up being that way when you scale up and just do a little thing at a time. If you're just, I'm not asking you to change your life or do any big giant programs or anything, but some people need it. I don't know if you're one of them, and you may be really fully engaged with yourself and living your life fully. However, for a majority of people, they're not, until the fear shows up or the pain is strong enough. And why wait? Why wait? Get a jump on it. So, how do you ride your bike? Hands-free, with weights, pumping, and doing turns. And how do you do that? Well, just practice, like anything we can do. Practice, just anything, okay? So that's the simplicity of it. Like, all kids fall off their bike when they first start to ride them. Smart place to ride it on the grass, right? And the same with everything we do. If it's new and you really want to level up a little bit, and you're not in a big hurry, but you have time to focus on some smaller changes that can make big leveraged differences in your life, because you've read, somebody's told you, common sense says, you should, but you didn't. And it's a matter of simplicity, taking the action. Once that spiraling outward starts, your life charges. So in the assessment, we say, what could I do differently in the last 7 days? It could be just in the last day, 2 or 3. I pick 7 because it's a measured period of time. And then there's the repeat of Monday through Sunday. And when we look at those days, some of them become habitual days. On Monday, I do this. On Tuesday, I do that. On Wednesday, I do this. And is there a reason for that? Is there a real reason for that? This is the way I drive home, or this is the way I walk home. Is there a reason for that? What if you walked a different way? What if you drove a slightly different way? What might you see? Who might be there? So looking forward into your week, what do you expect? What do you expect out of your next week? It's not quite the weekend yet, is it? For some of us, and for some of us, it is. And looking forward, measure your expectation. Just sit down, do a little experimentation if you don't, or if you never did. Or if you did it some time ago and you just decided no need to do it anymore, but then you spent 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour and 50 minutes reviewing, excuse me, seriously considering leveling up and changing your expectation. I mean, one of the simplest ways to have a better life, a more empowering life, is to look at your expectations for the week, for the day, for the moment, next hour. When you're going to meet somebody or a business meeting, a personal meeting, whatever it is, friends, family, doesn't matter what it is. What does matter is what you're going to experience in that moment. How are you going to show up? And how you might inspire someone else and make their day or life or week a little better with something that you gained in the last week of your experience. And consider the world needs help. And if you see people out and about, or you're going to meet people that can use that, it's your job then as a human being on the planet to not, of course, all people believe that. It is your job to touch those around you in one way or another to assure them life is, in fact, good. That through your actions, not through your words, I mean, it can be words, right? But it's really actions. I think actions coupled with words are probably the best scenario. And sharing your past week or the week before that, if in fact it's something you can share. Or you could ask someone who's close to you that you respect or you look up to or that is a model for you, and ask them, what did you change? Because I see you always seem to have a little bit of a bounce in your step, a little more life. When I see you, you're always like excited, or somebody, like you look like you're a happier person. And like the things that affect normally everyone around, it's like water on a duck and it rolls off. And you don't complain, and you don't really engage in the less than useful or engage with people that pull you down. You come back with a solution that is a positive response, not a response that feeds the fuel of pulling the moment down. Think about it. Think about your week to come, which becomes your month to come, which becomes your year to come and your decade to come. What is it that you can do to make a difference in yourself, if not anybody else around you? And it really always starts at home. However, it's like the carpenter's house never gets done because the carpenter doesn't finish his own house, but he's always out there making someone else's house look so good and beautiful. And if you are one of those individuals that doesn't quite have your own house in order, then you can help others to build their house and get their house really in order, because you know how to do it. You just don't do it. You don't take the time out. Maybe when you see their house like finished or as complete as it can be in the moment, in the time frame, you look back, and you look back at your own house and you say, wow, I wonder why my house isn't quite there. Do I give to myself enough? Or am I always giving, and I'm not living anything for me, right? Giving it all away. Well, there's a balance there, I believe. I believe that we don't need to be martyrs. It's not necessary to be a martyr. However, some people are instinctively, that apparently is their journey, which is the rare bird, I believe. And it's, excuse me, rather disempowering to others around. They may not know it. So a little bit of an assessment is in order on a weekly basis. And that's really what I'm talking about, a little weekly assessment. Sit back, take some time, take a breath, breathe, bond, break away from the moment, whatever's in your head, shut it off. And if there's, listen to the birds, open the windows, listen to the traffic, whatever it is. Listen to life force. And if you need the silence, then shut the windows and find your space if it is, in fact, noisy outside. Don't say, oh, it's so noisy, I can't do it. No. Practice. Take some effort. Work on it. Make an effort to make the changes that you need to make. Just do it. I got to say that 3 or 4 times a day. Just do it. And Nike is a good marketer. They put it out there, but you don't want to get shoes made from the Uyghurs in China that they don't get any pay. They do have a roof over their head, probably no heat. Really sad situation of people taking advantage of people. Not a positive thing. You want to get out, empower those around you, expect the same back in one form or another at some point, not necessarily from them, but when you put the good stuff out, you get good stuff back at some point when you least expect it, when you most need it. It is something like people call karma, or it is just the energy of the universe that says, when you give, you shall receive. Do you know when? But you expect it. I don't mean sitting there expecting. I think you get what I mean, is that at some point it will come back. And just know it. Is it the only reason you do those things? Could be, but mostly not. But there's nothing like gifts, bonuses, all kinds of cool stuff coming back at you when you least expect it. Then we say, wow, that's a miracle. That's a miracle. So how do you create miracles? You make your own miracles, right? You do it through the actions that you take. So when you're reviewing the week, you say, how do I create miracles in my life anyway? Well, you can subscribe, and I'll talk about everyday miracles. It's how I sign my emails. Be realistic. Is it a colon? Yes. Expect miracles every day. That's it. They'll show up when you expect them. Oddly enough, how they are created is just all through the mind, through the actions. Okay? And take a look at your life. Look at the week that went by. How many miracles did you observe? First of all, that's a bit of getting present, being conscious from the time you get up till the time you go to bed of the actions, the movements, the things you eat, speak, say, hear, right? We have the ability to block out anything we don't want to hear and tune in to what we want to hear. And that's dangerous too. So we have to be aware and ask, is it serving me? You'll know, because be true to thine own self, right? You'll know what is the real truth. And quite frankly, just really be true to thy own self. So this is Peter Stone. I'm here every day, and I do live every day. It's good for me. It's good for me. It's good for my family. It's good for a few other people. Might even be good for you. I don't know. So I hope one or two things I share is a takeaway. But I'm sharing my experience, strength, hope, lessons, hard lessons. Okay, hard lessons. But I've proven that you can do anything you want. So put your wants in the right place and enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will see you next week. Don't forget to like or subscribe. You can find us on a whole bunch of new social media platforms. Keep a look. You're like, what are the new social media platforms? Why do I need it? You need it. Just believe me, I am predicting the future. I'll see you later. Bye.